Hello there everyone, Jedi Brick here, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I was at my local dollar store today, and I saw these three knockoff Lego sets, and I thought it would be fun to take a look at all of them, just see how they compare to the real thing, and just see if they're really worth buying. So first off, we have this city set, and it's supposed to be some sort of gas station. It also comes with this little scooter motorcycle thing. Has 44 pieces and costed me $1. On the back, you just have some like art of an actual gas station. Not too much to be said about any of these. Their packaging is all pretty bland. They're all ages 6 and up as well. And next we have this police car. I bought this one because it's the only one I saw with like a minifigure sort of thing. And they all say they're compatible with the leading brands, obviously, meaning Lego. And we'll see how compatible they really are later on. And not too much to be said about that one. And I thought this one was pretty neat. It's a dinosaur, and this one comes with a diorama in the back. So like some sort of background thing you can display it on. And I believe this is supposed to be a Stegosaurus. And there is the diorama on the back. We got a T-Rex, some pterodactyls up there. Not too much to be said about that. But enough about talking about the boxes. Let's get into the builds. Alright, here are all three of the builds, and let's take a closer look at each of them. First up, we have the Stegosaurus. This build only has 18 pieces, so it's nothing incredibly special. It does have this neck bracket piece that can move the neck and the head up and down. It's really the only thing that this can do. You can't move the legs at all. It's all one piece. You can move the tail if you wanted to. You can move it left and right, just like that. But other than that, there's not too much to say about this set. But one thing I did notice while building this is that a lot of these sort of fake Lego sets have this printing on some of their plates, and that's like where they're made and the company and whatnot. I just thought it was interesting because Lego doesn't do that. They have the logo on the inside of the bricks and stuff, but they don't really do things just like that, and I thought that was pretty interesting, and I wanted to point that out. Next up, we have the little police car. Now, I bought this set because I saw the minifigure, and I thought it would be fun to compare to an official Lego minifigure, but after building the set, I realized that it is not a minifigure. It is simply a head with this weird-looking body, like it's sitting down in the car. I thought it was going to be like a full-fledged minifigure, but nope, it is just a head and a little body. But moving on to the rest of the car, it has the red and blue lights on the back, very standard to any police vehicle in Lego. And it has these white grills on the front and the back, representing the bumpers. It does have tires, and it can spin. You can push it around and stuff. And that's pretty much it with this one, too. It's not a very complicated build, just like the other one. Yeah. And now on to the final set. This is the city gas station with the little moped scooter. We'll take a look at that in a second, though. I really like this build. Out of all three, this is my favorite, mainly because of the way it uses windows as like a ceiling cover thing to protect you when you're pumping the gas. And it does that by building with studs on the side, which is a really cool technique that you don't really see in too many Lego sets, especially City. And it does have that sort of lettering like we talked about earlier on this 1x8 tile, which I don't know why they do that. I think it's pretty annoying and distracting from the build itself. But other than that, there's not too much to say about it. It does have this little hose thing that you can use to pretend to pump gas. You can bring your little scooter down and just pretend it's pumping gas into it. But now let's take a look at that scooter. It uses the same mold as the Lego version, but I am pretty disappointed in this one because as you can see, the handlebar, it doesn't really stay upright on its own. Sometimes it falls over on its own. It does have this 1x2 tile on the back, you can take off, and it has some studs there if you want to place something there. The wheels do spin, and it has this orange stud on the front to represent the light. Alright, here are all three of the builds, and now let's bring in some actual LEGO and see how they compare. We'll start off this comparison by looking at the minifigure, if you even want to call it that. I don't even really know what to say. I mean, it's not even half of a minifigure. It's a hat, a head, and like some weird looking sitting down body thing. I mean, everything about this minifigure, except for the hat, I guess, is ridiculous. I mean, if you just look at this head, it looks ridiculous. It is so down, like upshifted. The bottom, like underneath its mouth, just looks so absurd. And I'm gonna try to see if I can put it on this actual minifigure, just to see what it would look like. Yeah, that looks pretty ridiculous. I mean, that head itself is just pretty dumb looking, in all honesty. I mean, it kind of looks like the guy's wearing swim goggles instead of sunglasses. Like, they just look pretty ridiculous, and it's so upshifted, too, that it makes it look like it's got a huge chin or a neck. Like, I don't know, I just think it's really funny looking. And it's so... the head itself is just so wide. Like, it's so, like, wide looking compared to an actual minifigure head. You can just kind of, like, see the difference in the shape. It's almost more like a cylinder looking thing. And yeah, let's look at some of the Lego bricks. Now let's take a look at two of the bricks. Right here on the left is a Lego gray 2x4, and on the right is the fake Lego 2x4 in gray. And there is a pretty big difference here. This fake one is a very bluish gray. Like, it doesn't match the Lego gray that I believe it is trying to mimic. It's just so much brighter. You can see right here how big of a difference that really is. This one being the fake one, and this is the real thing. It's a big color difference. I don't know why that is. I mean, they're obviously made by two different companies, but it would have been nicer if they lined up with each other a bit more. And with these bricks, they are pretty good quality. You can definitely feel the cheapness, but for what you pay, it's not that big of a deal. Like, it does feel cheaper than the real thing, with Lego being a premium product, but it's not terrible. They do work pretty well together. And with all that being said, let's take a look at everything. Here are all three sets back together again, and my final thoughts on these are, they're not for everyone. Obviously, if you're a Lego collector like I am, you're not going to get much of a kick out of these. Sure, they're like interesting builds and everything, but at the end of the day, I feel like most people would prefer to have the real thing anyways. But if you are looking for a good build, I would recommend this set. Even if you're just going to use your own pieces to build it, I feel like a build like this would look really good in a Lego city, especially because of that design that I've mentioned earlier that I really like. But for something like this car and the dinosaur, I wouldn't recommend buying it all, just because of how dumb and like ridiculous looking that guy's face is, and that it's not even a real minifigure. It's just this dude sitting there. No one wants to play with that. It's dumb. But if you had like it was for a gift, or like you had a kid in mind that they were just getting into the hobby, maybe that would be a good thing to get them as like steps to the actual thing. And of course they are cheap, and if you're trying to build something on a budget and you just need some spare parts, I would go for it. Especially if you can't tell the difference between the official colors and the knockoff versions. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I would rate all of these together at probably a 6 out of 10, mainly because of this build, and it's going to get bonus points with this minifigure, honestly, because I just think it's hilarious, and I love that face so much. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Have you ever bought a fake Lego before? Let me know in the comments section down below. And if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be posting more videos soon. May the force be with you. Bye.